great segue into consumer friendly. We're going to talk about Tokyo Game Show, but I wanted to add something in there because Xbox is doing well in Japan. Now, Xbox in the past was not
No bueno.
yeah, it was just not seen as something, and really they didn't really market out there, and they it just never worked for them. Well, right now Xbox is seeing phenomenal growth in
Mm.
Japan, courtesy of a Tech Radar article from Adam. I can't say your last name. I'm sorry, Adam. Uh, in the early days, it was bad, but it looks like Xbox Series X and S might be resonating with Japanese consumers. That's according to our Xbox head of Asian region, Jeremy Hinton, at least. Xbox hasn't had much luck in Japan and has often received the receiving end of some pretty embarrassing sales numbers and lacks support from Japanese developers. This apparently has changed. As Hinton said, the region is now Xbox's fastest growing market worldwide, and stock is often selling out within minutes. So they actually, for the first time ever in the history of this console, sold out on pre-orders. So speaking to IGN Japan, Hinton said they've been phenomenal growth in last year, with a high percentage of sales coming from Japanese consumers who previously shunned Xbox consoles in the past. There's no doubt that the demand is absolutely growing in Japan, and I see that the data that I can see, we have a really high percentage of consoles being bought by people who have never owned an Xbox console in the past. There's a lot more to the article, but
Mhm.
one of the things that I wanted to bring up is the fastest selling console right now out of an Xbox console in Japan right now is the S. The
Hmm.
Xbox Series S is selling more than the X. Now, it could have a lot to do with, as you know, the X is very hard to get a hold of. Jesus, those Halo editions went like this. But the S, to me, is one of the consoles I actually almost play on the most. I have an X and an S. The S is in my office, and I play on this thing a lot. It's easy, it's portable, and it's digitally only. And the sleek design,
Mhm.
it's phenomenal. But the good news is that Xbox product is doing fantastic in Japan for the first time ever. And I can guarantee you that's got to scare Sony just a tiny bit. And that's why Tokyo Game Show this year, Xbox is going to put on a big presence. So
Talk to
it's a
me.
4-day event, which takes place on September 30th to October 3rd, will include 44 presentations. Xbox has a 50-minute presentation planned for September 30th at 6 p.m. They have made a comment saying that everything that they will show and the exclusives they will talk about have not been talked about before. So I'm sure there's going to be a Halo.
Mhm.
They'll show something, but they're saying that the announcements are all going to be brand new. It previously unannounced announcements will be coming there. They did some stuff for Flight Simulator that was just for there.
Yep.
They did buy Tango Gameworks through the Bethesda acquisition, but a lot of people are doubting they're going to be there. But my question to you, Matt, is what do you think they're going to announce?
I'm actually. I would probably say a new. Well, I was gonna say a new Bethesda title, but they have Starfield coming out
Exclusively to the Xbox and
exclusively.
PC.
So to back up for a second, the ones that we know about that they'll probably showcase because it's September 30th is Tokyo Game Show. They're going to show off Halo. They're going to right around because of the release dates. Halo, Forza, Starfield. What else is coming around in the fall? Is that pretty much it from the first party exclusive? Those are your three bangers, right? Starfield is coming out later in the next year. But it's really going to be Forza and Halo are coming up next. Third party wise, you got like Far Cry in October, right around, but we've seen enough of Far Cry. I don't need to look at it.
Yeah, this is 50 minutes.
15 minutes of new content, I really don't know, other than them planning out and showing off, here's what we're planning to do in 2 years' time. And it could be some updates to existing titles that we're getting, but if this is previously unannounced, I want to see one game I want to see is State of Decay 3 to actually show off what that game will be. They just did that full update with refresh content. I'd like to see them actually show off what that game will be. We haven't actually seen that yet. Other than that, I really don't know what they are going to show off that we don't have a kind of a glimpse of that would be under the Xbox first party side of things. But I feel like they would go and try to highlight some titles that they're in development 2 years from now. so that they can keep the momentum, because we've talked about this previously on the show. I think that right now with Halo, what we're about to get is the domino of everything finally paying off for Xbox, of what they have been trying to build for this past generation so far, of Halo hitting now and Forza and then Starfield. All of this just starts cranking out the momentum where there's going to be brand new exclusive Xbox titles coming out every quarter. And they're going to be bigger titles or a variety of titles that everyone will kind of want to get their hands on. I think if they start announcing stuff now that they're going to say these games are going to be coming out on Xbox in 2 years, it's just enough. It's just enough for people to get excited about, to enjoy what's coming now, enough for next year, plus third-party titles. And then you start seeing off the ripple effects from Tokyo. What do you think, though? Is there anything that you think that they're going to show off that we don't know? Because I can't think of what the heck they're going to push out.
Hideo Kojima.
Oh, do you think we're going to get a Kojima exclusive?
We already have heard from Jeff Grubb that they are in talks, and it looked like everything was done, and we haven't heard anything. Now, Kojima put out a tweet today about The Matrix, and everybody lost their mind. It was like confirmed Xbox. But that got me thinking, isn't this the perfect time to do what Sony did and walk Hideo Kojima out on stage and be like, we're making a game with this guy, and then announce 2, not 1, 2 acquisitions. I'm not sure what they'll be, but give 2
Capcom.
studios, hey,
WB.
you never know. Well, hey, watch them say Konami. Like, it's just, who knows? Konami. Like,
ooh, yeah, okay, you know what? I didn't think about that. If they went for this, I forgot that they were still probably planning to do acquisitions.
They can, yeah, and they've made comments about it the whole year. So what's better than announcing, hey, here's our studio acquisitions, and we've got all these titles coming to Game Pass?
Give me, I'm thinking of it being in Tokyo as well. So Kojima, 1000%. If they do that, and like you said, when they did it with Sony previously, or they've just had Kojima show up on stage for an event, it's always like he's got nothing in production yet. They're working with him. So it's more of just bringing him out to go, him and Phil Spencer to stand there and go, hey, we're working with Kojima on his next title. It's going to be an Xbox exclusive. That's it. Kojima says a bunch of stuff that it's like, it's going to be all in code and riddles that he's excited for. Everyone will go insane, and it will come out just TBD 5 years from now. But
which is fine.
It's fine because people go, that's amazing. We'll wait for it. The studio acquisition piece, I totally blanked on because I'm like, yeah, Xbox did say that they were, or there was articles and news going out and rumors of them getting more studios. The Bethesda deal is done. They are going to be pumping out Starfield. All of those Bethesda titles are on Xbox right now. It's all cemented. I think that this is a perfect opportunity with 50 minutes on stage. You could turn around. Can you imagine if you got something like, and I'm thinking more of the catalog for Konami, and if you had the Kojima thing, that would be killer, because you could say, we're doing a work with Kojima on his next project, and then later you go, we've acquired the Konami video game assets and those titles. So here's your Metal Gear, and here are all of these.
Or they acquire Sega. That was rumored all the time, remember?
Yeah, and I pointed out Sega too.
When that blue and red controller came out, everybody was like, Sega. What happened if all of a sudden Sonic comes on the screen? And now all of a sudden all Sega games are now on Xbox.
And they could turn the switch tomorrow where they say,
100%.
We've got here are 10, 20 Sega titles from classic to current, all in the Sega catalog for you to play starting now or tomorrow.
And that covers we've talked about this on previous episodes. They need more kid-friendly games on Game Pass.
Yeah. They need to beef up that catalog. We have the AAA catalog. We need to get over there with the mascots.
Yeah, we need, if they can get the mascots, and Sega's got a big one in Sonic, and the movie did well. Yep. That's a huge mascot to get. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying, I'm just spitballing here. I still want TT Games. I think that's perfect. I think it just makes sense. I think it's just such a big catalog. Everything about that makes sense. But this could be the time, because Xbox has done such a good job, besides Gamescom, of hitting it with their presentations. So we know they're going to do something at the Game Awards in December. We know this is happening. They announced the Xbox Series X the last time. They're going to have to announce something huge. Maybe they wait for Kojima for then, but this seems so smart considering all the articles are saying how well Xbox is doing in Japan. You want to keep going with the momentum, like you suggested. Bring out Kojima and announce some studio. Hey, maybe they have the new Dragon Quest is
Yeah.
exclusive to Xbox.
Yeah.
Give that fan base something they want.
True. I think you're definitely, if it's not a giant developer and studio, it could be a couple of smaller ones, mid-sized studios that they acquire, or that they are at least getting exclusive first crack. You know, like Dragon Age, for example.
Or Dragon Quest.
Dragon Quest, excuse me, and being able to put that out first, only on Xbox. Maybe later on it comes out to other platforms. But when they can round that up, that is specifically targeting that audience, you want a couple of games like that that are going to speak to them. And then you could brand it with and associate it with Xbox. That's the biggest thing. You can get Far Cry, you can get all these third-party games on any console you want. But it's being able to have that association that really helps them out in the market. The one that I would want to see forever is going to be WB. As it's been rumored, like Sega, my hope and dream would be to have Batman on Xbox, Spider-Man on Sony, Batman and DC are coming over to Xbox only. That's where you play Batman. And I would give anything for that because of just how we can get those titles that we've played, like all the Arkham series. We already have all of those and bought them to death. But just the continuing Gotham Knights, having that on all platforms, but if it was picked up and getting the DC titles and all of that and getting them pushed over there, then you could get all the updates and the future updates, future content, added on content. But to be able to have the next big Batman title, whatever it could be down the road, I would love it to be exclusive to Xbox to see what they could do with even more resources. That's my big one.
Sounds to me like a Game Awards.
That's a bigger one, yeah, and I think that is a bigger one
because it's not. I'm trying to think of what is more centric to that. Like, what are you going to put in Halo? Like last year, they did a Microsoft Simulator. They did special maps and they did stuff just for that marketplace. You can't really do much with Forza because it's already taking place in Mexico.
Yeah.
So you can't unless you do a DLC. Hey, which could come out of nowhere. You could do a Forza DLC, which is like somewhere over in Tokyo.
True.
That's a map. You could do like a Tokyo Drift for Forza. Or you could do in Minecraft gets its if you did buy Sega, then all of a sudden boom, all the Sonic stuff is in Minecraft. And they're gonna try and do some tie-in stuff, but my hype level is actually increasing because I have a funny feeling that they're gonna announce they're gonna hit the mark with this Tokyo Game Show for the first time.
I think, like you said, I think it's important. And if they're ahead out there and they've got some noise around selling consoles, probably the Series S, then I think that they need to put something that's going to be more Tokyo centric, that's going to get that fan base, like you said, that audience excited, get them hyped up for it. It sounds like they got to unleash everything, even if they have plans to do studio acquisitions, more of them. If they know that they've locked in something like, let's just say Sega, I think that's an amazing opportunity and platform to be able to showcase that. And like you said, it speaks to an even bigger market and global market of like the Sonic movie did well enough to make Sonic 2. And it's a brand and an asset that everybody knows. They're so ingrained as well with Xbox just through Game Pass. Every time you turn it on, there's a Sonic game that you can play on Game Pass. Why not just bring over more Sega titles that you can? And that would even speak to that market. I just think that showing off at least one studio acquisition would be incredible. And then, a bunch of unannounced titles. And you have 50 minutes. That's a long time to stand on. That's a long time to stand on stage.
It's a very long time. Exactly. So what I'm thinking is, say they announce one of these studios we've talked about, then you automatically can be like, and look at the catalog and look at the remaster I can give you and look at this. And yes, this is all going to have auto HDR and all that. We'll see. I'm pleasant. I'm excited. So we'll see. Like I usually don't care. I'll be honest. That Tokyo Game Show for me is like I don't care about Final Fantasy.
Same.
It's not my thing. It's not that they're bad games. It's just not my thing. So and turn-based RPGs, they're not my thing either. Like I tried Yakuza Like a Dragon. I tried. And that's a Sega game.
True.
So
and the Yakuza titles are all over Game Pass. The whole series is there.
Like you and I both have put on our conspiracy theories because we've seen sales on TT Games, WB Games, and Sega games, but nothing else. So
Yeah.
which one's coming? Which
And-
one? Which one's coming to Game Pass?
Yeah. And to me, it would be, to make the most sense for the timing of everything, I think Sega.
And maybe it's not even a studio acquisition. Maybe it's a, hey, we didn't buy them, but all their games are coming to Game Pass.
Yeah, it could be just that. They're going to stay independent, but we have exclusive rights in partnership with them. Maybe it's just a different deal. But as long as they can brand it and say that this is exclusive to Game Pass, that's what Microsoft wants to do all the time now. It's all
then
about Game Pass.
It automatically gets those kid games. Hey, go play Sonic. Sonic. All the Sonic games are there. You got and then they'll have like the Genesis Classic Edition, and those that package they had.
Yep.
All those games would be available on Game Pass. And then you have all the retro people like, this is amazing.
And
So
you can
you're
do
not
it on your
just-
mobile phone.
Exactly. And you have, oh my God, Sonic on mobile.
Yep.
And then you got Phil Spencer putting out tweets saying, I just played Sonic the Hedgehog on mobile.
And that's what they want to be able to do, is get you that retro classic games to be able to play cloud, be able to play on the go, and then plug it into any console and play old games and new games, and the future Sonic title, for example, that'll be coming out. Speaking of games, it actually has me excited. I'm exactly like you, where Tokyo Game Showcase is not, it's something I would read about the next day on IGN, but it's not something that I would have much hype for. But because of the role that Xbox has been on for this past year, it's got me curious every time they step on stage, and that's the win for them. I'm watching and listening, because every time they do go on stage, it's for something. And whatever they show off is not just, well, here's 20 minutes of Halo and you've already seen half of it. They always have something new to show, and it may not speak to me directly, but it's going to speak to some portion of the audience, which is great. Speaking of games, this is about Xbox. Coming to Game Pass. I don't have a good segue for that. We have new games coming soon. You're like, I thought it was okay. New games coming soon to Game Pass.
Some of them are already there.
Yeah, which Final Fantasy is that?
14.
Thanks. 14? I can't do the Roman numerals on that. There's so many 14
that's 13.
13.
It's 13. Yeah.
13, yeah.
Whatever.
There's a spacing on it. Craftopia. Coming on September 2nd. We have, you arrive, just to give a quick breakdown on them, you arrive on a small island packed with animals, resources, infinite possibilities. What do you do with this game is completely up to you. Gather resources, harvest crops, fight bosses, capturing enemies, building a lovely house, unlocking new islands, exploring the world, and more. What you will do when you can do anything have you ever dreamt of? Okay, I don't really know what that game's going to be, but that's fine. Final Fantasy 13 is coming out on September 2nd. We've also got Signs of Sojourner, yeah, on September 2nd. It's a narrative card-based game. You got Surgeon Simulator 2, which that sounds interesting, because if it's a simulator game, farming simulator, lawn simulator, and I got Surgeon Simulator, let me get my wife in that one. That'll be fun. Bob's Life is in your hands. Scrub and solo or up to 3 friends in his physics-based sim and unearth the mysteries of Bossa Labs medical facility. That kind of looks cool. I might have to try out that. If it's going to be a multiplayer thing, that's September 2nd. Crown Trick is coming to console and PC and ID at Xbox on September 7th. We've got Breathage on cloud, console, and PC September 9th. Nuclear Throne is coming to console and PC on September 9th. Artful Escape is coming to console and PC September 9th. And then in case you missed it, the ones that are already available now, we have basically the Quake collection that's come out. You got Quake 2, Quake 3 that's out, and the DLCs are in there as well. But head over to xbox.com and go look up the Game Pass and what the games that are coming out or that are already out there already. Court, it was a good show. Enjoyed myself.
I had a great time.
The Tokyo Game Show has got me all hyped up.
Same.
I'm gonna enjoy that one.
We started off with some, come on, man. And then we ended it with a, yeah, let's go.
Well, that's awesome. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here on Assemble XP. One of my buddies, Court, as always, for joining us. If you guys want to, if you consider subscribing to the channel, hit the notification bell, get updates on all the content we do here. Check out the show on all your podcast services from Apple and Spotify. And check out Assemble XP. We cover all the Xbox content for you every single week. Court, thanks for coming by. Your camera looks nice.
Thank you.
You look all clear. It's very nice.
Yeah, I got a new one. I got a fancy new one from the local Best Buy here in Ontario.
Yeah, you did. And your lighting is good. It's all majestic. I love it very, very much. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. And as always, thank you all for assembling with us. See ya.